Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Neil Underwood. Today's video is going to be on a golf app that you can actually get on your Apple, iPhone or Android device. Now, the question actually come from one of my subscribers. Brian Lawrence commented on the G80 review and asked, is there an Apple app that will do the same thing? Now, I looked on the Apple website, on the App Store, and found an app that had the highest reviews and thought I'd test that against the G80. Now, if you haven't seen the G80 review, have a look on my channel, it's there. Maybe watch that first and then you can look at what that sort of gives you as well. But I'll compare this to the G80 and we'll see how we get on. Let's get into it. Right guys, so what I started by doing was going on the App Store and I searched for a golf launch monitor. Now, when I'd done that, that came up with a few, but I found the one with the most good reviews was the Shot Vision. Now, the app is actually free to start with, but it only gives you a limited amount of data. Now, to get the full pro version, it actually costs £40.99 a year. And then or you can have the monthly option, which is non-commitment purchase, which is £6.99 a month, and you can cancel after the first month. I've gone with the £6.99 a month just to try it for the 1 month, so I could do the video for you. So I'm going to put it up against my G80. Now, the thing to remember with the G80, I believe that Garmin says that this is plus or minus 5 yards correct, and plus or minus 2 miles an hour on club speed and ball speed. Now, so we've got to give the app a little bit of grace on what it's going to come out. Now, who knows to say which one is right, but as long as they're within the 5 and the 2 mile an hour, it'll be a pretty good comparison. Now, there's a couple of things to note when you actually set up the device. Now, if you go into the device and you go to the clubs, you need to set your lofts for your clubs. Now, I have I play blades, so my loft aren't as strong as what some of your clubs may be. So I had to go through first and I had to change the lofts on the club so it actually reads correctly. Let's get up here, have a look outside and see how it's set up. Right, so just setting up the device. You click on the Start Launch Monitor. You select the club that you want. So we're starting with the gap wedge. Press ready, then it gives you the screen like this, which you then have to place down either on a tripod or whatever you've got handy to be able to do it, and get it until the green light shows, and then you press play. Then after, it'll come up and it'll tell you that it's ready, and then you're ready to go. Right, so I'm going to hit 3 shots with each club. I've got a 50, 9, a 7 and a 5. Let's hit the 50 first. .9 yards carry. .6.5 yards carry. 117.6 yards carry. No. 134.2 yards carry. 131.1 yards carry. 131.4 yards carry. 7 on. That's a bit fat.
118.5 yards carry.
That's about right.
136.7 yards carry.
See if I can actually hit one with the 7-iron.
$152.0 yards carry.
Okay. 5-iron.
178.1 yards carry. 170.8 yards carry. 143.2 yards carry.
See one more just to give you the benefit of the doubt.
$170.8 yards carry.
Okay, let's go inside, let's have a look at the data. Right, so let's have a look at the data that we picked up outside. Now, the app is great in a way that it can show you shot data. So if you go into your club that you've hit, so we'll start with the gap wedge. It gives you the average carry and the club info, and then the dynamic loft, your angle of attack, and also your spin loft. Now, if you turn it onto its side, it actually gives you it in a sort of TrackMan or GC Quad sort of form, which is pretty good. So there you can see it gives you club speed, ball speed, launch angle. So we'll compare this one against the G80. Now, obviously the G80 doesn't track the data. I have to take a video or a photo of it for each one. So I've took a photo of each one so I know what it is. So looking at them in a comparison, we have the club speed at 75 mile an hour, and it says on there 71, 92 ball speed, and it's 94, so that's within. And then the carry, I've only gone on carry because I haven't set the roll. I don't know what the roll is on the app. So it's 118.9 on the app to 118 on the G80, which is pretty spot on. We'll just go through really quickly. The next one, 106 carry, and it was 106.6 on the app. The club head speed was in 2 mile an hour, but the ball speed was slightly out, about 3 mile an hour. But with that carry being spot on, you've got to allow that. That's pretty good. The next one then at 73 club head to 74 on the app, 91 ball speed, which is spot on, 91, and the carry was 117.6. Now on the Garmin it showed 113. Now that's 4 yards out, so that plus or minus 5 yards, you could argue that it's within. Let's move on to the next one. So let's look at the 9-iron. So the 9-iron on the first shot was 138 to 134 on the app. 128 on the G80 to 131 on the app. So within 3 yards. And the final shot was 131 to 129 on the Garmin. The last shot on there was just picked up as I was resetting the camera, so that weren't an actual shot. So let's move on to the 7-iron. So moving on to the 7-iron, what I actually like about this is if you look at the first number, I really fatted the first 7-iron. I'm not going to take it out. We all have bad shots. It read 118.6 to 119 on the Garmin, which for how fat it was spot on. The next shot wasn't the best either, 136 on the app to 138 on the Garmin. And the final shot I actually felt like I hit a decent shot was 155 on the Garmin to 152 on the app. So just one other thing, if you do have a bad shot, you can actually swipe across and delete that shot out of the data, so it'll actually give you your averages more precisely rather than having bad shots in there at the same time. So for the 5-iron numbers, the first one was 178.2 carry on the app with 180 on the Garmin, 174 to 170 on the app. The next shot was way out. It read 143 on the app and it was actually 164 on the Garmin. I felt like he did 164, so I'd more trust the Garmin on that one. I did read another shot just to give it the benefit of the doubt, and that was 171 on the Garmin to 170.8 on the app. Now that is pretty spot on. Just to go through the actual what else is on the app, so obviously it gives you club speed, ball speed, launch angle, spin rate, height and carry and the total. Now I can compare, which I have done on some of the shots, the club speed and ball speed. I can't compare the launch angle. I can't compare the spin rate. That's maybe another thing for a TrackMan, which if I can get back to the range, we can put it up against that to give that. But looking at some of the spin rates, they look fair. They look fair what I'd expect with my 5-iron, nearly spinning about 5,000, and the bad shots obviously spinning a lot lower. I can't compare the height and how it picks up the data. It obviously uses the camera to pick it up. I can't guarantee what it is, but on the carry distances, what I'm seeing, there are a few discrepancies in some of the shots, but in fairness, it's pretty good, and it is matching the G80 pretty well. So to round up then, I mean, I'm really impressed with the app. I'm really impressed with the way it lays the club data out. You do have to change the club every time you hit a new shot, but it does then state the data for that club in your review for that day. The comparisons to the G80, some shots were really close, some shots were within that 5-yard sort of mark, and again with the club head speed and the spin rate, with the club head speed and the ball speeds were within the 2 mile an hour. There was a few shots that, you know, you can allow a couple of shots that aren't going to be exact, and you just have to accept that and maybe hit another shot, and then he'll give you the right numbers that you're looking for or what it's actually reading. It's brilliantly laid out on the app that you can compare everything. It stores all the data so much better than the G80, because Garmin, I've always say, I think that they've missed a trick where they should be collating all the data onto an app so you can view out each shot. The only thing with that is you would have to put each club in your hit on that app like you do on this one, but that's no great shakes. Post comments down below, guys. Have you actually tried this app? Have you tried any app on the App Store? For me, this is something for, you know, £40 a year that could work, and for £40 a year compared to $450 for a Garmin or a lot more for other launch monitors, could be well worth it. I'm not sponsored by these. This is just a completely neutral review. This is what I've found. I think I'm going to use it. I'd love to get it tested up against TrackMan and see what that comes back as. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below on what you think, and please subscribe to the channel. See you later.